So recently I went to the Sundance Film Festival in London and I saw a total of 11 films in 2 days. Well, 2 and a bit days really. So over the next 10 hours, I'm going to bring you a review every hour on the hour in the order of how I saw the films so that you can have your very own Sundance Sunday. You're probably working at the maths, 10 hours, 11 films, doesn't work out. There's one film I'm not going to review just purely because it's very political and I just don't want to do a review of that. So I'm just going to bring you 10 reviews in 10 hours on this Sundance Sunday. So let the day begin.
I'd like to know what you feel as far as the responsibilities of representing mankind on this trip.
That's relatively difficult to answer. It's a job that we collectively said that was possible and we could do, and of course the nation itself is backing us, so we just sincerely hope that we measure up to that.
So this film doesn't really need an explanation as to what the story is about. We all know the story. Well, I hope you do anyway. So this film, this documentary, it starts just hours before the launch of Apollo 11. And the film follows the whole mission up until the quarantine process for when they come back to Earth. But you're probably thinking this is like something we've seen before, like many times before. But the difference with this one is just seeing footage that's just like never been seen before. And it's almost like a whole new look at the Apollo 11 event. And it's kind of like, it's really nice to see footage that we've not seen before. Obviously, I think when we see pictures from the Apollo 11 mission or video from that mission, it's just all the footage and the pictures are just the same. We've seen them like hundreds of times before. But this film's got like new remastered footage in it. And it just gives you a different perspective on the event itself. There's no narrator in this film, so you've got no like posh voiceover from someone like Stephen Fry or something like that. The narration is just kind of carried by the communication center in Houston and the astronauts obviously up in space, as well as lots of news footage as well. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of conversations between the astronauts and mission control. So there's a lot of tech talk going on, but I think that really helps make you feel a part of the mission as well while you're watching it. There's also not any music in this film at all really. There's only music when there's really dramatic events, like obviously the takeoff and the lands on the moon and coming back and, you know, I think it's the re-entry to Earth again. Those are the moments when there is music in the film. But even the music, it's like it's this electronic sort of feel to it, and it just really fits with the film as well. Occasionally during this film, most of it's done in real time, especially like during the launch, the countdown, and obviously when they're about to land on the moon as well. It's like, you know, it's very, most of it's very real time. Obviously the whole thing's not in real time, otherwise you'd be in the cinema for 6 days watching it. So that's not gonna happen, is it? So at some points it does feel like it's dragging a little bit, just a tiny bit, not too much so, but I think the ADHD generation will struggle with this one a little bit. Those who also might struggle with this is those conspiracy theorists who believe we didn't land on the moon. I'm one of those, I'm gonna admit it. I've never been too sure that we did land on the moon, just because some of the footage looks proper dodgy, I suppose. But seeing this new footage, this new remastered footage, and this great way of storytelling, the way they've put this film together, it just makes you think differently, really, to be honest. And what this film also does, it fills in the gaps, I suppose, what we haven't seen before, which really helps with the story of the mission as well. But overall, most of all, I think this is going to surprise even die-hard conspiracy theorists.
Contact light.